Okay, Myth, pairs. This for
Pairs.
me was the most exciting competition. The build up towards this competition, not only because, I mean, similar to the men, the standard in pair skating has really upped and teams are now trying new tricks and so forth. But this season has been really highly unusual. There's been interesting comebacks, but not everybody has gone up against everybody. So we didn't kind of get a sense going into Worlds of like who's got the upper hand and who's beating who. I mean, there were a couple showdowns between, Kavaguti and Smirnov versus, Sui and Han, but then Kavaguti and Smirnov were out. And then we saw Stolbova and Klimov against Duhamel and Radford, but Sui and Han didn't make the Grand Prix final or pulled out, and Velocichar and Trankov had their return, but they didn't. They pulled out of the Grand Prix final, and then they went to Europeans, but Stolbova and Klimov didn't go to Europeans.
But Sachenko
And
and
then
Maso were at Europeans.
and then Duhamel Radford went to Four Continents to finally go head to head with Sui and Han, but then they had to withdraw because Megan got sick. I mean, there was so much
Bro,
drama.
that was a good recap of the season, okay?
Oh, like my brain is like practically going through seizures to try and recall all that stuff. But anyways, everything just kind of twisted and turned, and none of these. Oh, and then of course the Germans came on the scene, but they didn't get the green light until the back half of the season. Then all of a sudden they're at Europeans and they're silver medalists.
Let
it's just
Bruno
like
Massot go. Let Bruno Massot go.
totally.
Remember that? It feels like it was yesterday, right?
I know. I think, and we did some stuff. We did some good stuff on Change.org to try and make that happen. Good on the Blade Boys. We pitched in where we could. So yeah, it was just such an interesting pairs season that finally saw everybody at the same place at the same time, and it was like, okay, pressure cooker, what's going to happen? And I mean, so you and I did the predictions.
Yeah. We were not correct in our predictions.
No, we were not. I'm pretty sure I had Sui and Han first, Duhamel Radford second, Velocichar and Trankov third.
Yes, we had the same medal, and I had Velocichar and Trankov winning, Sui and Han second, and Duhamel and Radford third.
Yeah. Okay, so myth confession.
Shame on us. Bad
Shame
Canadians.
On that. Yeah.
Bad Canadians.
Bad figure skating vloggers. What are our credentials? This is shameful. We should be shut down. Who the hell are these Blade Boys, anyways?
Megan Duhamel, you have full permission to read us and to throw shade at us and be like,
yeah, totally. But please don't. But please don't.
So,
we're really nice. Okay,
you.
but confession. Speaking of Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford, confession.
Yeah.
So I put them in as silver. To be honest, I was like, I don't know that they're going to make podium. And some people were that much bolder to say, they're not going to make podium. There's too many good teams ahead of them. And, the World Championships are not, they're not going to defend. B, they're not even going to be on the podium. So, I put them as a silver medal, but I thought, this is really iffy. I was counting on, I think Velocichar and Trankov have had pretty strong momentum, and they've been gifted a little bit in some elements of this season, and I think that's going to catch up with them, but I frankly wasn't sure. But damn, in a pressure cooker situation, who comes out on top and just brings it and kills it? Canadians, Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford.
The Canadians, it's nobody. Okay, this is the biggest understatement of the season, but I am so proud of Megan and Eric, because as we've talked about, defending a world title, that's some hard stuff to do, okay? And defending your world title, not just, and kind of like Javier, they had a lot of haters after them when they won the world title. People were like, oh, well, this isn't a pairs team. They're both single skaters. And this season, Megan and Eric evidently tried so hard to bring out that emotional connection in their skating. And you can see it in not just the program choices, but the way they, it wasn't happening throughout the season, technically for them, and as a result, I think their artistic efforts fell flat. But when they got it together at Worlds, girl, on message forums and stuff, there were people who were like, "Oh, you know what? I didn't get Duhamel and Radford until now," or people who were like, I'm not their biggest fan, but even I can acknowledge that they killed it and that they are definitely a pairs team and not a two single skaters skating together. And like I say, the haters gonna hate, but the skaters gonna skate, and the skaters definitely skated. Where
Hmm.
Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford, they nailed their short program, something they haven't really done all season, like to any extreme. And we
Totally.
were just like, oh my god, please just do it once because this can be so good. And the free program always pulls them up, but like they had never performed their free program to that level of cleanliness. And I loved Megan's like, oh my god, can you believe we just did that?
Totally. I
Because
mean,
I was saying the same thing.
yeah.
I was like to that whole performance. I was holding my damn breath. I was like, oh my god, this can be so good for them, and this is gonna be like amazing. But I just don't want like a moment to happen. And but
Yeah.
you know,
And they've had moments before where like a lift doesn't go up, or there's some sort of an error or problem, and
an
so
error
I
or
was
a
like,
throw or a
oh,
touchdown or
let
something
this,
like that.
let this go well.
And you know what? Okay, I will also say this.
Say it.
Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford did not get the world record for free skate with this
They
their
did.
score.
No, Velocitar and Trankov and Stolbova and Klimov still have free skates ahead of them.
Sobov and Klimov. No, I think they beat Sobov and Klimov. But
No, Stolbova and Klimov were like just a hair beneath Velocitar and Trankov with their score at the Grand Prix final this year in Barcelona. I think Duhamel and Radford are 153 or something like that,
yeah. Oh
whereas
yes, and
the
you're
Russians
right.
have
At
each
the
got
Grand Prix final, they were 154. But like honestly, I think that well, as I thought with Sobova and Klimov, like that those are like world record winning skates. I mean, with that second half bonus being removed, come on, like Velocity and Trankov were really good, but Duhamel and Radford and Sobova and Klimov at the Grand Prix final, they pushed the envelope technically, and they really deserve to to me in my books they have the top spots as far as free skates go. Um, I again like Stobova and Klimov, they were that team that I'm like, oh well, I'm predicting Duhamel and Radford for third, but like it could be Stobova and Klimov, it could be Savchenko and Musso,
Yeah.
like as we saw with Velocitar and Trankov, like an invalidated lift can cost them a bronze medal. Like it's a very small moment, but it can have a very huge impact. And I mean that's figure skating in a nutshell. But firstly, kudos to DeHamel and Radford for defending their world title. That's so hard to do, and I think they're the first Canadian team in like
Yeah.
ages to do that.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I think they've like they picked programs this year that feel really comfortable. They finally skated that short program to its potential at the
yeah.
World Championships, and that's the place to do it. I mean, I had it in my head. I thought if they can do that, then they're off and running, and they're guaranteed on the podium because they don't botch the free skate to any great extent to hurt themselves, fatally in terms of rankings. So when they did that, I think A, it put them in contention, and B, it surely gave them a boost of confidence thinking, okay, if we can do that, we can totally take the next step. And I think, they even said, Megan even confessed in a media scrum a couple days before the short program that she said, we're not even favorites to win a medal here.
Mhm.
So, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they're so frank and
Based
they're
on the
so open
season,
to the media.
based on the
Yeah.
season, they knew that a lot. And that's the weird thing because I mean, come on, they came second at the Grand Prix final. It's not like they were like, but coming into it, it was as we had talked about in our previous like World's preview. It's so tight at the top in pairs, and like
Yeah.
again, like if Megan and Eric had skated as they had this season, they would have been off the podium for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they
And
pulled it together for Worlds, and I was so I was a proud mom. I was like, you guys do your thing. You defend that world title. Like you kill it where everyone's making errors. You show why you're world champions and why you have that, and that's something they have over the other teams. They have that competitive
mhm.
grit and they have that resilience of like, no, we will not settle for off the podium. We will not, match people's expectations of mediocrity that they think we
Yeah.
won't do it. We will step up to the plate and like kudos to Bruno Marcotte and like their whole team. They went into those championships prepared. After that four continents where they had to pull out because of Megan being sick, like they were like, you know what? Let's just kill it at World Championship. Let's not let
Yeah. And
this
yeah. And
break
they
us.
actually,
We
yeah.
will. we will show people why we are the reigning world champions and why we are still in the conversation to be at the top of the podium. And I think this was a very, like with Javier, it was a very strong statement going into the like into the
Yeah.
seasons prior to the
Yeah,
Olympics.
and they talked about after the Canadian National Championships, they had a major heart to heart and really started being honest with one another. And apparently, Eric even said to Megan at one point in that heart to heart conversation, or around that time following the Canadian Nationals, and they were disappointed in their performances there. He said, there were times this season where I've thought, why am I in this, or should I even still be in this? And Megan said, I've been thinking the same thing, but they'd never said it. So they took their partnership not just on the ice, but off the ice, and how they approached skating as a team to a new level that was able to bring huge rewards. They were hoping for it at Four Continents, but she got sick, and that was a non-starter. But they were able to showcase that new approach and the benefits of it at the World Championships. I was also, as much as I was impressed with their free skate, I was blown away seeing Sui and Han skate in person their short program.
Oh, that short
program is unbelievable.
If there should be a world record
long
short program,
that should be it. And their long program was spectacular too, despite the errors. If they skated the long program clean, I don't know, it would have been a very interesting competition. I'm not sure what would have happened. Sui and Han, I think, are going to continue to grow, and I can't wait to see what material they're going to
hopefully not grow too much, okay? We don't want a Nam Nguyen scenario going on, okay?
True.
We want them to grow. We don't want them to grow, right?
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't mind, I can't believe the tricks they can do, given, comparatively, they're pretty similar. And he's not a big guy.
He's not a big guy. You wonder how he's able to muscle.
Next to Bruno, next to Eric, he's dwarfed.
But she's also tiny too. She's also tiny. Especially when she lopped off some of her hair. She's a little lighter, okay? She lopped off enough. She's a lot fiercer and a little lighter. So it's
the energy, the dynamic between the two of them, their charisma in that short program, that Spanish medley. Hey, I say they could even keep it next year. I'm cool with that. Not that they're asking me, but I imagine Laurie Nickel is going to outfit them with 2 new routine and numbers for next year. But yeah, it was that short program blew me away. It blew the competition away.
And in a season where they've struggled with injury and they were kind of like Duhamel and Radford. They were like, oh, well, with, Sobov and Klimov really coming back and Velocidar and Tranko coming, it's all going to be about the Russians. And even Savchenko and Massot, they were like, oh, well, there's even a chance for them because they've been skating well already to push Sui and Han and Duhamel and Radford off the podium. And kudos to Sui and Han for really sticking with it. And, the errors were unfortunate. It's a quad throw. Come on. They haven't really landed a ton of those cleanly. But, you're not going to get every performance like Four Continents where you land your quad throw. But, again, the side-by-side jumps was still a struggle. So it could have gone – they could have definitely put some heat on Duhamel and Radford. But it was very evident that Duhamel and Radford stepped up and – Sui and Han had some struggles, but of course you have to remember that they're trying to the type of technical content they're trying to execute in this program. And I totally agree with you about Song Han. If he bucks up, how many points do you get for a quintuple twist? He'll just toss her up to the Raptors, have a little cup of tea, and then just catch, and she'll still put her hand over the head to get the extra level on that 5TW4, right? It's going to be 16 points, and then it's going to be the end of the competition. And then it'd be why is anyone else trying at that point? Yep. But we would love to see a quint. That would be.
Okay, let's not get greedy.
Let's not get greedy. But yeah, for their size, matching, you wonder, oh my god, if they can do a quad twist. Imagine if Song was a couple feet higher and had the strength of a Dylan Moskovich.
Totally.
And yes, speaking of Dylan Moskovich, Duhamel and Radford were not the only great Canadian pair at the World Championships. We had Miss Kirsten Muir-Towers and Michael Marinaro, and Miss Luba Vilushechkina and Dylan Moskovich light it up. Canadian pairs, come on now. They nailed it. Short program, long program, They show okay. If there was any doubt that like Canada was a strong pairs like a pair stronghold like
Hmm.
that can compete with like China, that can compete with Russia. Let it be known that this World Championships seal that. I mean, you have
Totally,
your
and that
winner,
and that, and that's without Seguin and Bilodeau.
and that's
So
without Segway and
I mean,
Bilodeau.
next year will be a fantastic.
Well, that's another thing. It's like that's we get back to these like, damn, like why can't we get four spots for some of these countries that have like
Totally.
four teams that can make the top 10? Like it was so great to see, and we would be remiss to not talk about those other two Canadian teams and how proud we are of them to to light it up as well at the World Championships on the biggest stage. And again, like for Kirsten and Michael in particular, their first Worlds together, to after so many problems throughout the season, uh, good on them for like
Hmm.
for nailing it. And of course, like we think back to like nationals where they had that awful twist error, like nightmare that took them out of it essentially, and they came back. And Michelle or Megan Duhamel came back after her second. So I'm gonna call the Canadian pairs the comeback kids because they know how to come back after like all these little problems throughout the season, and they're like, no, we will nail it on the world stage. And kudos to them for doing that.
Hmm.
Um,
I think it's important as well to mention, I mean, great skate for Savchenko Massot. I mean, I think they're now off and running and put themselves in medical contention. After competing on the international scene for a mere number of months, they're in medal contention heading into next season and
oh yeah,
Pyeongchang, which is brilliant. The three Russian teams,
first world. Okay, first world. First of all, you know France wants a bit of that medal. Okay, like they done paid
mm,
off the French Federation, but the French Federation's like, oh, can you just let us touch it, please? Like just we just we want to take a little bit of credit for that, but like you know what, the struggles they have had this season to even compete for like Germany. I mean, come
yeah,
on now.
fantastic.
Come on.
Yeah,
Alyona Savchenko, like, what is she, a nine-time world medalist or something like that? It's something crazy. I don't know. Um, she's got a lot of world medals, that one. And uh, good on her for doing it with another part. She's one of the
for
few
that.
pairs. She's one of the few pair of skaters to have medaled at Worlds with different partners,
Yeah.
and of course we love like you think back to that interview you had earlier in the season at Nebelhorn with Aliona and Bruno, and that stare down between Aliona and Tatiana. Okay,
Yep.
so you know who
Yep.
got the last word at Worlds this year, but you never know how it's going to turn out next year. But
Totally. And I think, yeah, I think I mean, their twist is like
oh,
unbelievable, and it's got to become a quad. I think because
if that does not
there's
become a quad
enough
twist,
airtime.
if
There's
that
enough
does
airtime
not
for it.
we talk about who can do a quint twist, like they could
It
do a
would
quint
be them.
twist if they
It would be
want.
them.
Like he absolutely launches her, and I thought Veloster and Trankov would have the all time like highest twist, but oh my god, like, that is some height for
That's some that's some
days. That
crazy
is
airtime.
terrifyingly
He says
high.
apparently she screams in the air at certain times that they do that, and
I
they
would.
said they were impressed with how it went at the short program. She said that she could go higher.
Oh my god,
So it's like,
the sky is the
I'm
limit
like,
for the.
girl, your ears are gonna pop upon
We will
return to the ice. And what a
we will have
shock
to remove the
for
roots.
all three Russian teams. None of them on the
Four,
podium.
five, six. Yeah.
So Stobova and Klimov, have been difficulty with injuries with his shoulder, and then apparently she was also injured. So, I mean, they barely squeezed out that triple twist in the short program.
Oof.
Boy, it was a very crashy landing.
And even at the challenge team challenge cup, whatever we call it,
Same. Yep.
same thing. Like that, they need to get the. I know his shoulder is injured, but like they've also never really had a great triple twist. It's been one of their weaker elements, and they, ironically, their side by side elements are usually their stronger points and their throws. Things that people criticize Duhamel and Radford for being not enough of a pairs team for but like unfortunately, Sobova and Klimov couldn't get the same magic that they had in the Grand Prix final. And I don't want to be a broken record, but their programs just aren't that great this year. I want them to get back
Oh,
to
wait a minute. I'm
peppier
going to
programs.
disagree.
I
That
want some
the
Adams
short
Family
program
realness. I
the
mean,
short program is amazing. I thought their short program was like sizzling.
I think, I think she like a lot of people say she's not like she's selling it. I'm not quite seeing that. I think she's still kind of a little too like thinks she could just I don't know zhuzh up her movements a little bit more. Fedor needs
I'm
to,
loving it. I'm loving it. The short program was totally sold on me, but
okay.
I
Well, they
respect.
put a
And
spell on. They
the
put a
long,
spell on you. They put a little fairy dust. I didn't quite get the spell, but I got
you
some of the
did.
magic. I got some of the magic. So I won't say that it was completely devoid of that. I just think they're capable of so much better programs. And I mean, kudos for trying something different this year in the free skate. And obviously, they like it got them a massive score at the Grand Prix final, which should arguably be the world record. But yeah, I think this was not the way they wanted to end their worlds. They were very close to bronze. Some people think they should have gotten bronze, but they made too many errors, and Savchenko and Massot really earned that bronze. I think, and especially considering it was their first time, I think the judges might have jipped them some scores for being so new on the scene. But I'm glad it didn't compromise their ability to get that bronze medal, which I think they deserved the most. And the Russians, while many people think it's a disappointment and a disaster, and in some ways, yes, it is, but like there were so many teams, as we've said, clustered at the top that on any other day it could have been the Russians going 1-2 and then somebody. I mean, and also Tarasova and Morozov, kudos to them. After like a really rocky start to the season, they managed to get back on the saddle. And when I saw like Volostar and Trankov skate, I'm like, man, I think Tarasova and Morozov should actually beat that, but I don't think it's gonna happen. The judges they love Volostar and Trankov too much, and lo and behold,
it did happen.
it did happen. So of course that means like Russian nationals next year is it's going to be some interesting moments going on. I don't think Volostar and Trankov should get too down on themselves. Again, they are a comeback team, comeback skating this season, and they had some great successes like with Euros. So they shouldn't be too hard on themselves. It's kind of like Patrick Chan, right? Like wins the ISU championship, like 4 continents for Patrick, like Euros for Volostar and Trankov, and then both had both went to Bompard and couldn't really show their potential of how well they could skate. And then at Worlds, they both get themselves in medal contention and unfortunately drop out of the medals due to like errors in the free skate. So, but both should be proud of and know the fact that they are both former world champions and they both still have what it takes to compete with the best in the world right now. So they shouldn't get down on themselves. I think Team Russia still is very strong and they still are contenders for the tops of the podiums on any potential
I think
day.
yeah, and I think something tells me about the Russian mentality is that they're not gonna whitewash what happened and the mistakes that were made. I don't know that they'll get too down on themselves, but damn, they'll come back determined next year to right the wrongs of probably what they see as the wrongs.
And you don't poke the Russian bear. You don't poke the Russian bear because you're gonna get mauled next time. Okay.
Totally.
So we
and we've talked about and I think their Bollywood short program created lots of chatter in online and in the blogosphere. I really liked the program, and I liked the direction that it's taking their skating. I thought the Dracula program was, it was something that was sort of
classical.
Comfortable. It was a comfortable piece for them to portray. I don't think it really stretched or pushed their artistic boundaries or really showcased how grand and big and outward projecting a team they are and the energy that they can create on the ice. So I really hope that they come out with programs next year that showcase that like they did Black Swan, Jesus Christ Superstar, Masquerade Waltz, some of those programs that really blew the roof off. And I think for Stobova and Klimov, similarly, I still think that they're a medal threat, even possibly a gold
Oh,
medal threat in Pyeongchang. I think they do need to correct. I mean, her delay on the throws is brilliant. The delay and the twist is problematic. So I do think they need to address and correct that. I suspect that the program, the free skate this year, was really designed to help them stay calm and crank out the triple triple combination. They had aspirations to do a quad. They obviously abandoned that with the injury, but
yeah.
I think it was really laid out so that they could get these huge technical feats completed. And when you compare what they were doing last year with just, triple double double and double axles, I mean,
Yeah.
they are light
They
years
upped
away.
it.
They're
Like
they're a
adding those
different
triple
team
side
performing
cows.
different programs this year versus last year. And I think if they had done what they did at the Grand Prix final at the World Championships, quite possibly they would have skated away with the World Championship, or the scoring would have been much tighter
Oh
between
yeah,
Tacoma Radford and
they would have
Stolov and Klimov.
definitely
So
definitely
it'll be
medaled.
interesting to see what the three Russian teams come back with next year. So Boston ended with the ladies event, and
The ladies are for. We always say ladies first, but we're gonna do the ladies last because the ladies. Okay, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I kind of thought the ladies would be Tino shade to the ladies, but I thought it would be a snooze fest. I thought it would just be like so predictable. Like, oh, the Russians are gonna do well. Like the American skaters, they'll do well, but not as well as they can. And there'll be a Japanese girl also in there, maybe two. And I don't know. I didn't anticipate the level of performances that these ladies did because oh my god, kudos to prove me wrong because, and shame on me because like the ladies, they gave us the drama, they gave us the competition. We had some surprises with Miss Anna Pogrilaya. Like
yeah.
there was drama for days in the ladies competition, and like our predictions, like throw those out the window.
Oh,
Except
hey,
for except for
mine
one,
weren't
except for
so bad. Mine weren't so bad. I admit, I think mine were more correct
you
worse.
kept the faith with Miss Ashley Wagner, and we will get to that. But like, I'm glad you did because I was too chicken to put her on my predictions. My predictions were Yevgenia Medvedeva, Satoko Miyahara, and Elena Radionova. Yeah, I got lazy. I just said the Grand Prix final standings again.
Mm-hmm.
But also that was based on like Satoko nailing it at four continents and the American girls not really stepping up and Pogorelai not even really being on my radar. So you understood why
Yeah,
I made
Poker Lie
those.
was on no one's radar, so I'm hearing you there.
I mean, Pogorelaya, to be fair, at the Moldovan ornament, she nailed it as well. That was with like Sadnikova at the beginning of the season. That's when they gave them like 80 component scores out of 80. So let's talk about Miss Yevgenia Medvedeva, um, like or Medvedeva as we affectionately like to call her. This is
Yeah.
the okay. So firstly, Miss Thing in the short program doesn't have the strongest opening triple, and she's like, okay, you know what, I got this. I will just tack on a triple. She pulls in Elena Radionova and just tacks on a triple toe onto later on in the program.
Yeah.
So good focus there, and then of course in the free skate, much to the chagrin of all the Yuna lovers from around the world, she ends up killing it and getting a world record score, just
Yeah.
barely over Yuna's world record score from Vancouver. And I mean, I will say this: it had seven triples, and Ted, I am so glad that a ladies world champion has seven triples. I don't even want to go back and see like when was the last time that happened because do girls just not do seven? Do world champions just not do like seven triples anymore? Is that no longer is there no longer a technical standard? Are we just like no tea no shade to the girls to the ladies who won with five triples? I mean, I'm not going to name names, but they're very artistically talented, and they could as a result get away with not doing the full roster of triples. But Yevgenia Medvedeva, she was on fire this season, and what a great way to cap off this season. I mean, we all three world title winners in the other disciplines defended their titles, but with the absence of
Elizaveta.
Elizaveta Tukhtamisheva, Russia was like, okay, well, we still got this, okay? We still got
Yeah,
we
totally.
got
We're
another
good.
one coming up, okay? So like, and of course, Tuktami and Shiva is gonna come back next year and make things still interesting. But Yevgenia Medvedeva, I mean, she absolutely showed the tenacity and the poise of a world champion, and I'm sure Eteri Tsutsburidze is like really happy now that like she has a
Yeah,
world champion because a lot of people slated Yulia
to be the next
to be
thing.
the next thing, but I mean, and Yulia, kudos to her, won her Olympic gold medal, but couldn't capitalize at Worlds. Only got silver to Mao's gold 2 years ago. So I mean,
No.
congratulations to
Oh
them.
yeah, you're right. Sorry, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry. I was
yeah.
confusing. Carolina Costner was she was second after the short program, but then third overall. Yeah, yeah.
Well, third overall over Miss Anna Pogorelaya, who we're gonna leave the silver medalist in just a bit because we're gonna like go crazy over that. But
Yeah.
Miss Anna
Yeah. So
Pogorelaya.
wait. I
Okay,
gotta talk about
okay,
Medvedev.
let's go back.
So
Let's
I
go back.
think that I mean, great skate. I'm still hey, I mean, backloading her short program and the long program, but mostly the short program with her triple jumps. To me, it just doesn't look like it's a trick that no, it's not a trick. It's an approach that it's a strategy that certainly squeezes the most points to get the upper hand in the short program. And hey, I guess you should do it. I'm not crazy about it. I feel like it makes a short program look imbalanced. I feel like
I
something
agree.
needs to be attempted in the front of the program, like at
Well, that,
least
she attempts the
the
footwork
second
sequence at the
element.
beginning.
I'm just not. It's hard for me to get into the program and to really feel part of it and to feel like she's off and running and she's got she's making an impact when she saves everything for the end. I feel like these programs, the music is just a little too mature for such a young teenager, and so I think for those reasons I really needed to see a jump in the front half. So and I also find her costuming is like it's fine, but it's like it's not really it's not special and it's not particularly about a teenager. And to me this that those did not scream. I can't see myself in 20 years looking back and thinking, remember that time that Evgeny Medvedeva broke the world record? I mean,
Yeah.
to me, I think the world record that Yuna Kim set in Vancouver Olympics, though that was a spectacular program. She was a spectacular skater. Yes, she had ditched the triple loop by then, but I think other elements and the finesse and the charisma was able
Oh,
to pull that off. And I don't see Medvedeva in the same league or caliber. And yet she's come
agreed.
away now with two new world record scores, one at Worlds and one at the Team Challenge. So I think just like every other year, it seems recently in ladies skating, what will be interesting is not her first season out, but it'll be her second season out.
Mm-hmm.
Will she be tossed from the team? Will she drop like Radjanova did in
Or
the World
Tutami
Championships?
Sheva, right? Like, who
Yeah, I
knows?
mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting time.
Of
So
course,
yeah,
and
she
you're
set
gonna
it. She set a world record, and she hit the big numbers.
okay. You know what? Like, I don't want to trivialize what Yevgenia did. Of course, compared to Yuna, her performance wasn't as great. Let's remember that we're in a time when judges are starting to give component scores out like candy. There's clearly been like a jump in component scores across the board
Yeah.
in the past season or two. So it's not like this was unexpected. Uh, and of course, with the grade of execution that Yevgenia gets by doing a Tano, like essentially, like it makes it at least a +1, if not a
Mm-hmm.
+2 or higher. It's very, as you said, it's an approach, it's a strategy, it's a tactic. I think we're so used to a short program. Well, where, but like you have your opening and then you like go into your first jump. So we're not used to that like whole. Well, why do we have to start a program without a jump? Like where's your first jumping pass? Why are you doing? I actually appreciate that Yevgenia, obviously she does it for the points. I appreciate that she doesn't make it about the jumps. It's almost like the jumping elements come later and she's really trying to establish a program. So I appreciate that she's doing that. And while it is mature, like the music and stuff, that's what you need to be a world champion. Like you can no longer really be like a Tara Lipinski where Anastasia gets you the Olympic gold medal, right? I mean, obviously in that scenario, she had to like really technically elevate her game, which is what Yevgenia has done. And honestly, if the other girls aren't doing that, like the ones who are more mature, the ones who have like
Mm.
better thing, and like I mean, they're doing it, they're attempting it, but they're not doing it consistently. They're under rotating. If they're not doing it as well as she can, she's doing all that she can to like win, and kudos to her
Yeah, I'm not
for
gonna.
doing
Yeah,
that.
I'm certainly not gonna fault her for skating clean and for approaching the skates she does. Uh, it's not a vehicle. It's not a style that draws me in and convinces me that she should be a world record holder. But she is, and here we are. And she's obviously set herself apart. I don't know that she has the longevity to even make it to Pyeongchang. Well, time will tell.
Well,
To
she's gonna
see,
get a
but
lot of competition. I mean, Polina Surkaya is coming out next season, and she's like a phenomenal Russian skater who's up and coming in the way. Also, Eteri Tutberidze's skater who
yeah,
won the Junior Grand Prix final, along with Yevgenia winning the Senior Grand Prix final. So
yeah,
Eteri's got a lot of champions on her plate.
totally.
By the way, people throw shade at Eteri for not teaching her skaters like good enough technique or long lasting technique. Oh, she's got look at the champion she's cranking out, okay? And even on men, she's got Sergey Voronov. I mean, and also of course I love the hair and the fur. Like she is that typical Russian sassy coach, and
Oh my
I
god!
love
And
me some.
the most pristine skin, like
Oh my god, like
unbelievable.
the bone structure, girl.
Hello, yeah, totally.
Girl,
Put her on the
you
ice.
could
I want to see her
strap those
jump.
on boots and like and skate a program with those cheekbones. That's how sharp she's got
Totally,
them.
she's
So
gorgeous. She's
just a little
gorgeous.
shout out to Miss Iteri and congratulations to her.
I,
Um,
I I will say this on Atari. I talked to her after the free skate. She
you
was. We were
did?
both. I did. We
Oh,
were
I
both
hate
getting it,
you.
and I would heard through the grapevine that she speaks fluent English. So
Oh, probably.
we're both on the elevator, and I was like, "Hey, you." So we chatted very
Oh, I'm
briefly.
sure you would have met her at the club after, whatever.
Totally. Oh
Just
yeah,
had like
because we
had a little drink, had a little drink
yeah, we
together.
totally was totally hang at the same
Right?
places.
She'd be like,
So
"Oh my
had a
god,
quick
oh
chat.
my god, you like vodka too?" Like,
Yeah,
who would
totally.
have thought?
Oh wow, caviar. Who'd have thunk? So I asked her, how are you going to maintain this? I mean, are you worried that this cycle of a new Russian sensation every year is sustainable? I said, what are you going to do next year to make sure that she will stay in as number one? And she said, we're just going to practice and pray. So there it be. That's the strategy. How do you make or create a champion? Practice and
Practice
pray.
and pray, okay?
Just
And that's and I mean that's Yevgenia had an amazing season and yes, she might not be the classic world champion like to the caliber of Yuna or to the artistry of Costner, but like we shouldn't shortchange this because this is all. Let's also remember that this is her first season, okay?
she's
First,
not awful. She's not awful.
uh, this is her first season, and she wins the damn world title, okay? So that is a huge. You see, I can't remember the last person who did that. It might have been Tara Lipinski. I don't know.
No, Michelle Kwan did it in
No,
2001.
no, no. No, no. I mean, on her first world championships, she ended up winning, right? Like,
With seven triples.
oh no,
Michelle
no,
Kwan.
no, no, no. The seven triples. I think it's probably. I'm saying like it's her first senior season, right? And she ended up winning the world championship. So that hasn't
Yeah,
happened
yeah,
in a long
yeah.
time, and that's a huge statement. And I hope she can like physically maintain herself because I think artistically there's room to grow. She's like that Mao Asada, right? Remember 2006? We were like, oh, Mao's just a jumping bean. She just jumps or whatever. She's so like
That
unrefined,
damn, yeah, that
rough
nutcracker.
around the edges. The
Yeah,
like nutcracker, like
yeah,
snowflakes falling
yeah,
spiral thing.
yeah.
And
Hello.
we were like, and you know what? If we hadn't waited and stuck around, we would never have seen the artistic skater she had inevitably blossomed into. And that's
Totally.
why I think like I'm really hopeful for Evgenia.
Girl, I want you to be as hopeful as you can be. I'm not holding my breath. That's all I'm saying.
Ah, okay, all right.
Second step on the podium. Let's go to Ashley Wagner.
We'll go to Miss Ashley. Speaking of a diva,
Unbelievable. Speaking of a diva, so I mean, I tell you that the short program was such a breakthrough for her because she has that short program. Her short program skates have cost her. They cost her in 2012.
Oh,
they cost her in 2013. They cost her, of course, in 2015.
Carolina cost her. That's what it was. Okay, like
total every time, and it was so magnificent to see her skate that. I mean, I think Hip Hip Chin Chin is a brilliant program.
It's the best short program this season, but like
totally,
bar none.
I agree.
Like,
I agree. And then to see her skate it clean was just like cherry on the top. She was so elated when speaking with the media that she didn't have to come out and talk about what she did wrong or talk about trying to change her approach to the free skate and try and move away from the short program. It was fantastic. I was really, really happy for that skate. And doing it with the pressure of, a home audience, a home ice was even more magnificent, fantastic. And then that, I think, helped set her up. She knew that she was in the mix. And of course, her free skate has been her strong suit, certainly this season, and she capitalized. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was just so amazing to see her. It was all set up for Ashley Wagner to kill it because she drew last in the free skate order. It was the last event of the World Championships. She would be the last competitor to skate competitively at that World Championships, and she closed it like a humdinger. Yeah, there were a couple, under rotations and so forth.
But not errors that marred the performance, right? Like
totally,
even the flip was not like perfect, the landing, but like girl did what she needed.
Yeah, she did what she needed to do. She sold it like rent was due the next day. She got the highest component scores.
Well, she was playing Satine, okay? She was playing Satine, so she was. I was buying what she was selling, okay?
Yeah, totally. I thought it was just sensational, and to see her break emotionally at the end, and that the place just went like. Boston, totally. TD Garden just completely erupted. I mean, they were waiting for. Mirai Nagasu killed it in the second last flight. Gracie unfortunately didn't, and they were waiting to just lose their minds, and she gave them that opportunity, and it was magnificent. It was magnificent to see, and I think when you take, I think she's 24, 25. When you compare, at least 8 years age difference between her and Evgenia. I think there's another 6 years between her and Anna Pokorolaya. I mean. Damn it, she has shown that a mature woman can be a contender and win a medal.
Well, it's kind of like she's sort of like the Carolina Costner of her time now because Miss Carolina's coming back next season.
She's come back.
So
totally.
we got a lot of mature. We got Maria Buderskaya would be so happy right now. She would be. We got some strong women, not just girls, not just little girls. We got mature women.
Yeah, but before you give away the Carolina Costner title, Carolina Costner herself might want to claim that title when she comes back next year. You're right. But sorry, what you were saying.
I need to take him because I am so I was proud of Duhamel and Radford for defending the world title with all the troubles they've had. I am so over the moon over Ashley Wagner. I hate it when people hate on skaters, and Ashley Wagner is one of the most hated on skaters. People say she's old. People say she literally has to say in her "Don't give up on me." Can you imagine the mentality where you have to tell people you're trying to train, you're trying to do your best, you're still old for skating, but young as a woman, and you have to constantly defend yourself after you won multiple Grand Prix final medals, after you've won Grand Prix, and people are saying every year there are haters coming out saying Ashley Wagner, who's she? She's done. She's whatever. She won't ever win another national title. She won't ever win. She'll never medal at Worlds. So many people said that she would never ever get that accomplishment, and damn it, she done proved them wrong. We didn't give up on you, Miss Ashley Wagner. Okay, maybe in our predictions I did, but Ted didn't give up.
I was with you, girl.
You.
I was with you, girl.
She nailed it. Okay, in a sea of like young like talent like Yevgenia and Elena and even Anna and Satoko, uh,
Jumping beans, jumping
jumping
beans.
beans, right? Like she still brought out that classic like figure skater, that the emotion, like she gets into her program. I love that moment at the end of her short program where she had that like little like she was so excited that she kind of like wiped out
She
and she was
felt,
just kind of
yeah.
like laughing. But that's what really defines me as a skater. She is so real, and she is so like, you watch her and there's such a genuine quality to everything she does, and it's like she will sell that performance and give you that little wink and that little smize and that like, and she will and give you that sassiness, and then in like her free skate she will just own this character of Satine and just give
Mhm.
you complete drama for days and like an artistry that eclipses the rest of the competition. And some say her component scores were a bit high. I think yeah they were, but like relative to the
I
other,
disagree. They were not.
but
They
relative,
were not.
but
They were not
relative,
too high.
no, no. I mean,
That's performance. Like that's what skating should be moving towards. Not this nonsense of like what Medvedeva is putting out there. Like that to me is stylized performance
but
skating. I think the
I
components were
think
totally
you
they were
also
totally
have to
fine.
do with what you have to deal the cards. You have to work with the cards you're dealt. And I think Medvedeva, you don't want her trying to do Ashley's Moulin Rouge program,
Right.
right? That would look so weird. Medvedeva needs to do a program that's right for her. And just like Ashley is the only one who could pull off Satine in that type of program, she's the only one who could pull off that sass and that fire of that short
Yep.
program. I mean, who else would? Maybe Vanessa James in her like, or Xenia Stobova. Like they might be able to like pull off that
Yep.
sass, but
Yeah.
like in the ladies competition, Ashley Wagner is like in an artistic class of her own, and she is at this point like, other than Mao, of course, who is artistically amazing, but unfortunately, technically, she didn't do well in this particular competition. Like Ashley completely stepped up, and that has been something she's been doing continually for years, and she has not been getting the recognition from like the rest of the skating community, but her fans really recognize her putting in the effort and putting in the hours and putting in like Carolina Kostner added her triple flip triple toe when people thought oh my god girl, it's been years since you've even tried a triple triple, let
Yeah.
alone like
Totally.
trying to like. Ashley Wagner puts in her triple loop triple salchow series. She nails her triple flip triple toe in her short program. She's going for it, and like I don't think this is the end of her either. Like she's gunning for the Olympics. She knows that going into the Olympics, she might not be technically the most sound, but artistically, she's got a leg up on a lot of these skaters. And if she brings it in her short program, as she managed to do, she puts
Mhm.
herself in contention for a medal. So
Totally.
kudos to Miss Ashley Wagner. I'm so proud and so happy for her. And I think there are a lot of people who see her as a sentimental favorite, other than the haters, but we won't forget about them.
Mhm.
Um, and and I think they're very very thrilled to see not just that like an American lady won a medal at the World Championships after so many years, but also that it was Ashley Wagner who had gone through so many trials and tribulations in her career, and this is like, man, what a moment for her.
Mhm.
I'm
And
so
there's
thrilled,
this,
so pumped for
there's this,
her,
there's got to be
and Raphael
something.
as well, because Raphael,
Yeah.
he was happy. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. There's got to be something sort of satisfying for Ashley. She'd probably never say this on air, but or to the media, to the public. But the fact that she won a medal, which then bumped Gracie out of medal contention,
We
I
don't talk
mean,
about
that had to
that.
feel kind of good. You just
Okay,
wonder,
well,
does it ever
they're
create? Does it
rivals.
ever create more drama between these two skaters? I think. I mean, I agree with you that Ashley is, now in a field of her own, or at a level of her own in terms of artistry, similar to Mao. I put Gracie in that same field. I think those three are in a different tier than the Russians and the other Japanese skaters for me.
Yeah, I do like
And
Satoko a
that
lot.
had to
Yeah.
feel particularly satisfying that Gracie's medal meant she would be the only American on that podium.
I think Ashley and Gracie are rivals, but I know Ashley wanted Gracie to be on that podium with her. She wanted Gracie to be on a lower tier of that podium with her. Let me tell you
Right. Oh,
that.
you
Okay,
think so? Okay, interesting.
if she go and share the podium, she wants to be higher. But like, yes, obviously, like there is some distinction in being that girl who ends up finally coming through, right? I mean, Ashley's a fierce competitor, and you want to win by everybody doing your best, and you still come out on top. And I don't think Ashley wanted to beat Gracie that way, but I still think that Ashley had something to prove after everyone. Again, every time Ashley loses something, like everyone's immediately like runs in the other direction and says, "Oh my God, Gracie! Oh my God, like Polina! Oh my God, like all the Russians!" And they immediately dismiss
Right.
her. She like
Mm.
none of the other skaters after they have a bad competition. Like Mal has a bad competition. Nobody dismisses her because they respect that like what she's trying to do out there.
Yeah.
And I think Ashley has never quite gotten that level of respect and has always really had to earn it. And I mean, not to say the other skaters don't like they train very hard as well, but I feel like
Yeah.
Ashley has more of that underdog quality to
Yeah.
her, and that's why it's so much more satisfying when she's the one to like be the one to
Yeah.
be on that podium.
So Gracie, let's talk about Gracie. I thought Gracie's short program was fantastic.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
was, that I've loved that program for most of the season, and for her to skate it, especially after the, not skating it well at nationals, totally missing the triple triple combination at nationals.
Yeah.
Also, the errors, 2 falls in the short program at the Four Continents Championships. I was like, ooh, I don't know. I mean, you can
I didn't
pump this
expect
up
her to.
and all her credentials. I wasn't expecting that. And for her to do that in front of a home crowd, amazing. And to have, I think, a 3-point spread over Anna Pogorelaya and Evgenia and Ashley, or maybe 2. She was in the 76, and I think the other was in 74.
Her component scores were a big Boston gift. Okay,
But you know what? I mean,
I agree.
For example, I think she should be. She's a stronger, more artistic, more interpretive skater than the others. So
and the others, to be also to be fair, they made mistakes, but I think like they were. If there was any sense of like, oh God, we need an American on the podium. We need like maybe even a world champion if we can get one. Like if there was any sense of
the judges
from that,
the judges were like the judges were like, okay, we're gonna give this. This is who we're betting on. Like this is your horse that's in the game, and I mean she was
bet on that horse, and of course
totally.
she nailed that short program. I mean, good on Gracie. I mean,
perfect.
After 4 continents, as you said, where she had so many struggles, we didn't include her in our predictions to be on the podium. We knew that she was like a podium threat. We didn't include her because again, like mentally, like you never know where she like you. Honestly, it's one of those like, which program is she going to mess up in? Because sometimes she'll have a really good short and an awful free, as what happened, or she'll have a really not so great short and an amazing free, as what happened at nationals. So it's really hard to like see her as that consistent skater. Who that's why like Ashley, we would kind of put ahead because we're like, okay, well, Ashley, she'll always have a strong free skate. Now it's a matter of getting that short program, whereas Grace is like, if she does one well, she won't do the other well, and vice versa. So it's frustrating.
I really hope that just like Ashley should walk away from this competition with the confidence from both the short and the long, but Gracie should come down. I mean, she seemed very, very dejected after the free skate, and of course made the comments that she was ashamed and embarrassed at that skate and so forth, which is hard to hear. She should be looking back at that short program and think, okay, that was like the class of the field. That was the best of the entire season.
Yeah.
So
even if the Russians skated as well as they could, she would have beat them. Like,
when she puts it together, she is the best in the world. I think if she had put together a free or a clean free skate, I think she'd be the world champion right now over Evgenia. I think the judges are ready. The judges are ready to say.
Would have given it to her. I agree. It would have been close, but like I think But it would have been like,
And I'll go on record as saying I think she would have earned it. I think she's got.
oh yeah,
I think her
I
skating
think
and her style is more enticing. It's more inviting. It's easier to. It's an easier sell than Evgenia Medvedeva. And I hope that she doesn't let this haunt her too much, and
I
she can
hope
go into
not.
next season, lights out, and and continue to push for for the top of the podium in Pyeongchang, because I think it's absolutely within her grasp.
Yeah,
And scoring has showed that a clean Gracie Gold
is
is competitive with anyone in the world.
for sure. And
But she needs to get into that mentality that,
it's
okay,
it's
one
it's up
mistake,
here. It's up
and
here.
yeah,
She
and
has
yeah.
everything like on like her feet, like her technique, superb. I mean,
Oh,
even her flip, like she's sort of getting it back, getting it down. But it's
but like shit,
all up
there's
here. Like,
totally.
oh,
There's
it's
never carrots. Like she's a rotator, that girl, and even I can
I,
totally
I
understand mistake on the triple toe at the end of the triple Lutz combination. Like, okay,
she got
you
a
leaked
bit
out of
gift.
that.
She got a bit gifted on that one. That did not show up in the protocols in the under rotation, and that very clearly was an under rotation. And girl should be in fifth place right now. So like, I think that was a bit of a gift, but like,
Hmm.
whatever. It's not about that. She was gunning for the podium, and
But I
it
think
was a
I
hugely
think
missed opportunity. I think she would not have gotten the love on the scores that she would have possibly gotten had she skated lights out in Boston. Like, I think this was it just like her short program, like the component scores that were absolutely skyrocketing. If she had nailed her free program, that would put her at a pre-CS threshold that, like, going into the future, like you wouldn't really drop a whole lot below that. Like, that's kind of what component scores are about these days: skating high enough, and then, like, especially on home ice, go clean on home ice, get crazy huge scores, and then it just kind of drops off everywhere else. But if you hadn't got that initial boost, you would never
yeah.
really be at that tier. So it was a missed opportunity for Gracie. And I felt so awful when she said, I feel embarrassed, because I'm like, girl, you have nothing to be embarrassed about. You came
Yeah.
back, won your national title. You won your first Grand Prix gold medal this season. Like, Gracie is
No,
so.
she won HK last year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, this
Oh,
season.
oh, oh.
Yeah, this
No,
season.
that was
Well, this season, yeah. So she won at
last.
HK. Yeah.
No, no, no. It was last season.
Oh, was it last season? I thought it was. I thought it
Yeah,
was. I thought it.
but no, no. She had
Okay.
but she had tons of momentum this season for
Oh,
sure.
right. Yes, yes. Yeah. But she did make the Grand Prix final this season. So.
She qualified last year too, but she actually went
But
this
she
year.
actually went this
But
year.
no,
Okay.
but she had ups and downs, and I think that what I was going to say is, okay, she went for the triple combination. She went down on it. For me as a judge, I would sort of forgive that. I don't think that was the real fatal error. It was the fact that she doubled the Lutz. I
Oh, that
think
was
I mean, and this is the thing about
brain
Ashley
fart.
is Ashley can make a mistake and she'll keep plugging away and keep her nose to the grindstone and squeezing out whatever she can, even if it's 2-footed and under rotated.
She'll still sell it.
She'll crank 3 rotations, and I
Well,
think
except at
Gracie
nationals
was
where she singled
still
the Lutz. Except at nationals where she singled the Lutz.
right, but most often
Most
she
often
will.
she'll rotate her
Yeah.
jumps, but
Whereas
Gracie,
I think Gracie really, I think that an error. She wants to be perfect. She knows that if she's perfect, she could, she could take it. She could win a world record, and so I think that starts to play on her,
her nerves
and
get
she's
you
not
can
able
see it in
to
her
do.
body language. Like, she was so nervous throughout that program. Like, that program, like, you can tell in her mind she viewed the program not as an opportunity to win. She saw it as a minefield to
Yeah,
lose. And you could have seen that on her. I don't know if she knew Yevgenia's scores or any of that. I mean, she must have known that at least one of the Russians would have, like, skated lights out. But man, like, this is a missed opportunity. But Gracie needs to, like, remember that she put herself in that position, and she can put herself in that position again.
yeah,
But of course, with Gracie falling to fourth, we had Miss Anna Pogorelaya, who came third, and
yeah.
she she was not happy to
So
come only third. Okay, she wanted that girl wanted silver. So Anna, she ended up getting the bronze medal, and yeah, I think this was kind of retribution after when a few seasons ago, as we had talked about, Carolina Kostner came
yeah.
third after a really, really dicey free skate, and Anna arguably definitely should have won third that year. So I'm glad that Anna got her bronze. I honestly thought that the judges would make Gracie's score so high that they would actually still keep her above Anna, and I'm glad
Mm.
that didn't happen because Anna delivered two amazing programs oh my god, girl was second after the short. Like where did you come? Like
Totally.
we all knew that she had the potential to skate clean. We didn't think that I didn't think that she'd get like the component scores and the artistry scores, but like she skated with fire, she skated with attack, she skated with so much focus. You could see it in that free skate, and kudos to her for being the Russian on the podium. I thought it would be Yelena Radionova, but Radionova again wasn't as sharp as she has been, and again her program's not the greatest this season. I'm hoping for better next season, but kudos to Anna for
Yeah.
capping
Yeah.
off
And
a
you and
tumultuous. She earned it. Even her spot to Worlds, people are like, "Oh, should it really be her? Shouldn't it be another Russian?" No, she
yeah,
earned
I was
it.
one of those people. I was like, oh, I'm not sure Anna should go. So hey, I'm eating my words.
Yeah.
She killed it. She killed it. I think of all three Russian ladies, I think her jumps are the strongest
Oh
and the
yeah.
most precise. She was foot perfect throughout the whole competition.
Good for her. Good for Miss Anna.
Yeah.
And of course, we have the Japanese girls that we should talk about. Mao comeback season, not her greatest skating. I mean, she went for the triple out. She tried her hardest, and it was just, and it's what I said earlier in the season. She just doesn't get the. She has the technical errors like the under rotations, the fluts, stuff like that that eats away at her score and negates anything good that she has, like her superior artistry, her going for the triple axel. All of that is just it's just undone by these silly errors that are very scrutinized by the system. Satoko
Yeah.
Miyahara also like arguably robbed of a bronze medal, not just component scores, but like yeah, people say she pre-rotates her jumps, and I kind of agree with that. And of course, in the short program, her triple flip was under-rotated, which cost her the bronze medal. But I still think she's a lovely, phenomenal skater. And when she's foot perfect, she's very easy to watch. And I thought she could have been potentially that world champion, if not Medvedeva. It could have been her to have that 7 triple performance. But still pretty solid performances by the Japanese skaters. Even Rika Hongo did like pretty well herself.
Yeah, I think Satoko really, I mean, so she made strides this year artistically, and I think she needs to continue to do that next year. I also think, I mean, she just needs to get stronger. Like, I think she needs to do more,
She needs to be bigger. She
more
needs to be
leg,
bigger
yeah,
too,
more leg,
right?
more leg presses, girl. Get more height on those jumps, and
You
they
know what
look
though?
as grand as they could
She
be.
is though, and I know she like her jumps are tiny compared to like the rest of the other skaters. But if you
Yeah.
compare her jumps from season to season, they're actually getting better, and she's putting transitions and stuff before them. Like it's just because she's so tiny that like even I think even if like no matter how what she does, like I said, she's playing the hand that she's dealt. She's working as hard as she can with her frame, with like her tech, and I think she's improving artistically and stuff. But it's just not. Again, she came second at the Grand Prix final. Like it's not. It's not like she's not trying, and it's not like she's putting in the work or whatever. I think she's not as exciting or as artistically stimulating as somebody like Wagner or Mao.
Yeah.
But it's not. She's still a workhorse, and she's putting in the
Yeah,
effort.
and
And I enjoy watching her skate. I never get a sense of like, oh god, like where's the error gonna happen? Like I'm always watching her being like, now I can enjoy the skate and really appreciate it. Like that's what I get from her.
Yeah, I think her short program showed, some dynamics, some personality. So she has that, and she can move in that direction. She can also skate very artistically and elegantly, and show great line like she did in the free skate. And I think she needs more speed. She needs bigger jumps, and just
And more
continue to grow artistically. But I think what this World Championships does is I don't think any of those the three medalists can sit on their laurels, because with Gracie Gold, Satoko, Elena, Mao, next year Carolina, and presumably Yulia Lipnitskaya and Adelina Sotnikova are still in the game. I mean, they've got such a pack charging behind them who want to be on that podium at Worlds next year and at Olympics. I mean, no one can take it easy and let the medal get to their head too quickly, because the competition is fierce in ladies.
It's super fierce. And like speaking of super fierce, we just need to give a shout out to our homegirl, Miss Gabby Daleman, coming ninth. I mean, Alain did not have her best competition. I mean, she's had some great skates this year, but it just didn't happen at Worlds. But who comes in to pick out the pieces and capitalize? Miss Gabby Daleman lays down 2 personal bests, lays down an amazing short program. Who I thought she should have been higher, but the judges will be judges. But and of course at the Challenge Cup again, Gabby Daleman, like she nailed her short program as well. So she's picking up some momentum, and she's she is hungry to like get her national title back, right? She won
Yeah.
one, yeah, and
Yeah, she won that
she
last
won
year.
the
So
one
yeah.
last year, exactly right. So she is hungry to get her national title back and like reinforce that I am ready to storm the Grand Prix season next year. And man, Gabby has had some amazing skate. She got 195 points. 195 points is gold on the Grand Prix worthy in so many competitions. Like
Yeah.
for the longest time, Wagner and Gold were struggling to like get past that 190 mark. And now that like that was a statement for Gabby Daleman to get 195. I mean, for a ninth place finisher to have 195, that's one of the
Yeah.
highest scores for that level. Like
Yep.
normally, like
Yeah.
ninth place will be like 170 or 180 or whatever. But kudos to Gabby. I'm so proud of her. I can't wait to see what she does next season because I think she has tons of potential, and this was a breakthrough worlds for her. And I think also Alan will come back. She needs to play her technical, like how she technically approaches her programs. She needs to be a bit smarter about that, a bit more like what will get me the most points and not where am I going to like shoot myself in the foot. But I think those. I mean, great way to end the season for
Yep.
Gabby, and
Yep.
I'm really happy about that for her.
Totally. So listen, that was the blowout that was Boston. A great finish to the figure skating season. Some ups, some downs, some highs and lows that we have been following and debriefing for you and with you. Chime in and tell us what you think, what you agree with and disagree with, because Myth and I are busy enough disagreeing with ourselves. We need other people to
I know
disagree
we
with
need
us.
we need we need some we need some haters as well. Okay, so
Totally.
I know we
So
got a couple
yeah,
of those. So tell us your comments and we'll try to be nice about it back. Okay.
totally. Comment and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And don't forget to carry on the conversation over at goldenskate.com, which has great discussion boards, really fantastic articles debriefing the World Championships. I don't know who wrote those,
I
but they,
know.
they are spot on.
I agree. I think
So
I would love to meet the author. Like I'm sure I would love to shake her hand or his hand.
I'll try. We'll try and arrange
We'll
that.
try to arrange that. Okay.
We'll see what she's doing tomorrow.
All right.
So thanks so much for watching. I'm Ted Flett.
And I'm at Doss, and these are the Blade Boys saying also like thank you for watching this season. Like you guys have been awesome. This is our first season trying something like this, so we trying to lead our lives, but also get like some skating feedback and commentary to you guys, and we really appreciate the love that we've been shown from you guys. And as for the non-love, well, we acknowledge it. And again, like we say, the hate is going to hate, the skate is going to skate, and these are the Blade Boys saying that we will continue to follow kind of what's going on in the off season, some of the minor competitions, but. Oh my God, this was a great season for skating. It was it was a good season for us too. I would give you a little pat on the back as well.
Yeah, I'll take that.
A little pat. And of course, if you have any comments, just ask us, and we will bring a double time next season.
Sounds good. Thanks very much for watching.
All right, take care.